welcome to Kalos' Gaming Table. I'm Kalos. While I do plan to continue to go through TRO 3025, I've decided to try a new line of videos. I wanted to go over some more in-universe things from a franchise I love, Battletech. Battle mechs are war machines of unbelievable destructive power, dominating the battlefields of the 31st and 32nd century, armed with devastating weapons. One of those weapons, going back to the original battle droids, is a weapon that shreds armor and internal structure with every trigger pull. Today, we're going to go over the Autocannon. The Autocannon, as the name suggests, fires cars at enemy mechs, the manufacturer of the car determining the Hang on. Wait just a minute. I'm getting yelled at by my producer. I know I'm going off script. I know that isn't professional unless I know the source material. Alright, fine. Alright, so the Autocannon is actually a ballistics weapon, a cannon that fires massive shells at whatever is in the crosshairs. Autocannons come in a wide variety of manufacturers and sizes. Autocannons are broadly categorized by the amount of damage that they do, such as the AC-5 doing 5 points of damage, or an AC-10 doing 10 points of damage. Autocannons are a bit bulkier than other weapons, but they generate a lot less heat, which makes them a popular instrument of destruction. Autocannons do have two potential downsides. The first, they are ammunition-based. Once that ammo bin runs dry, the Autocannon is nothing more than a crit sink. The second, leading back to the first point, is that once the armor surrounding that ammo bin is stripped away, there is a chance that the bin can be hit and set off any remaining ammunition. If your Autocannon does get destroyed, I recommend dumping the ammo at the earliest safe opportunity. If you like this new line of videos, let me know, and I can help go over the rules for dumping ammo. Anyways, back to the Autocannon. The lowliest of the Autocannon is the AC-2. The biggest selling point of the AC-2 is its range, namely 8, 16, 24. The AC-2 does have a 4-hex minimum range, so keep that in mind. It can really reach out and touch someone. However, the AC-2 does an epic 2 points of damage. A single ton of ammo is 45 shells, so you'll probably never run out of ammo in a battle. Now, 2 points isn't much, but if you do hit, you have a 1 in 36 chance to either hit the head or to get a through armor critical. You don't know fun until you've been hit by that golden BB and had a gyro hit early on. The AC-5 is marginally better than the AC-2 with a range of 6, 12, 18. Like the AC-2, the AC-5 will probably never run out of ammo during a battle, as a single ton of ammo gets you 20 shots. It does have a minimum range of 3. The AC-10, for me, is the sweet spot of autocannons. Its range is 5, 10, 15, and no minimum range penalty. A ton of ammo will net you 10 rounds, though you have to be careful with your shots. The nastiest of the autocannons is the big boy, the AC-20. Like the name states, if you hit, 20 points of armor or structure will vanish from that target. They can tear limbs from light mechs. Mediums, heavies, and assaults will not be happy to be hit either. An AC-20 will force a pilot's skill roll. And if you roll boxcars on damage, well, at least you don't have to hose out the cockpit, you just need to replace it completely. Two downsides to the AC-20. First, its range. 3, 6, 9. If you keep that hunchback at long range, or better yet, just 10 hexes or more, it's not going to be very threatening. Next up, ammo. Sure, the AC-20 does 20 points of damage, but that ammo bin is finite. A single ton of ammo will only get you 5 rounds. You have to be very selective on your targets, getting close, and maximizing your chances to hit. As the timeline for Battletech advanced, newer autocannons were introduced into the mix. I guess, technically, they were reintroduced as that tech had been lost during the devastating succession wars. The recovery of the Helm Memory Core and reverse engineering clan salvage following the clan invasion allowed the reintroduction of these weapons. First up, the Ultra Autocannon. It comes in the same flavors as your normal autocannon, 2, 5, 10, 20. The Ultra Autocannon has the ability to double its damage output with every trigger pull. When you fire the Ultra Autocannon and you declare it to fire it in Ultra mode, if you hit, You make another roll, and if you succeed there, both shots land. If you fail that second roll, only the first shot hits. This has the benefit of potentially hitting twice. An Ultra AC-20 can potentially do 40 points of damage, and no mech will enjoy that. The downsides? When you fire in Ultra mode, you're using double the amount of ammunition, regardless of whether you hit or not. As such, if you fire in Ultra mode, you will eat through your finite ammo reserves. The second drawback, when firing in Ultra mode, you'll also double the heat generated. That can cause issues throughout an ongoing battle. The third drawback, the UAC has a chance to jam. If you roll 2 to hit, your AC jams. There are optional rules to unjam the UAC, but yeah, the weapon is out of commission until it's unjammed. The other autocannon variant reintroduced was the LBX Autocannon. LBX Autocannons have the same damage brackets as your normal ACs. Where the LBX Autocannon differs is that you can load up 2 different types of ammo. LBX Autocannons also have a little bit better range bracket than your garden variety autocannon. First is just a solid slug that does the same amount of raw damage as the normal autocannon. Business as usual. Where the LBX shines, in my opinion, is the cluster round. Imagine a cluster round as a shotgun firing scatter shot. First, it's easier to hit with that scatter shot, a -1 to hit. Second, instead of doing normal damage, you roll on the cluster table depending upon the specific LBX you are firing. The downside is, you might not do your full damage as it is off the cluster table, and each one of those pellets might hit a different location. While this might not be ideal against a fresh battle mech, the cluster rounds are great for crit seeking. All it takes is 1 point of damage to exposed structure to force a crit roll. You also have a chance to hit the head or get a through armor critical. The LBX can also be devastating against VTOLs, and you might immobilize a VTOL, which is bad, very bad, at least for the VTOL. The final type of autocannon I'm going to talk about was developed by the Federated Commonwealth, the Rotary Autocannon. Think of the rack as, well, it's a minigun, but with autocannons. There are 2 flavors, the Rack 2 and the Rack 5. In either case, you declare how many shots you want to fire, up to 6, and then roll to hit. If you do hit, you're going to consult the cluster table depending upon the amount of shots you fired, and it's going to be broken down into clusters of 5. Like the UAC, once you declare how many shots you fire, regardless of the results of the cluster table, you will use up that much ammo. You'll also jump your heat output by all those rounds fired. Also, like the UAC, there's a chance to jam the rack, so you need to be careful. However, you can have a lot of fun with racks if you throw caution to the wind, especially if you hit frequently. Now, autocannons also have a bunch of different specialized ammunition that you can take, but I'm not as familiar with that, so I might cover that in a future video. So, real quick, if you're enjoying the content I make, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, and leave me some comments below. In my forever batch all against the algorithm, this helps me out. You can also support the channel more directly by clicking on my Ko-fi link below. I appreciate you all. The autocannon is one of those ubiquitous weapons from Battletech, going all the way back to battle droids when it was just the autocannon doing 5 points of damage. Autocannons can be a very versatile and devastating weapon, but not without drawbacks. The ammunition restriction might not be a big deal in a pickup game, but if you're playing in a campaign game with consecutive drops, ammunition might be an issue. Like everything else, play to their strengths and try to minimize their limitations. If given the choice of autocannons to field, I'll take an LBX with 2 tons of ammo, 1 slug, and 1 cluster. LBX does have better range than a normal AC, and it can do either raw damage or go crit sinking. UACs can be fun, especially the UAC 20. The way it chews through ammo and the risk of a jam, though, does not endear it to me. Same with the racks. Players who advance the timeline love some of the new tech, but I'm not 100% sold on racks. Your mileage may vary. Is the autocannon your weapon of choice? Do you prefer these brutes over other types of weapons? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.